Hello everyone, today I want to talk to you about something very important when it comes to success, but it's not mostly talked about. Let me say it's underrated. People don't mention it, and it's not talent, it's not intelligence, it's not even creativity, it's actually reliability. Now look at it this way. It's easy for people to say, oh, that guy is so smart, that girl is so creative, but we heard a lot of people say she's so reliable. It's very reliable. It's not something that is so common, and this is understandably so. In this video, I'll talk about 3 ways that you can become more reliable, and I'm going to show you how powerful reliability can be. Now, to put things in perspective, who do you trust? In business, your relationship, in your family, in your circle? Who do you like to talk to? Who do you follow? Who says, let's go do it, and then you follow them? It has to be that person that you trust. And for you to trust that person, they are reliable. Okay, think about it this way. You have a vendor who is meant to deliver some goods to you. You know, they are going to deliver the best product. They are going to do all of that. But they never show up. They miss deadlines. You don't see them when they're supposed to show up. And then there's this guy whose product is good, but it might not be the best. But every time when they tell you they are going to deliver the product at 7 p.m., they are going to be right there on time. And they are always doing this consistently. If you are to be given a choice, what are you going to go for? For sure, the guy who delivers all the time, the guy who is consistent, the guy who is always there. And the way it is in business, so it is in real life, and even in our everyday relationship. Reliability is the foundation. Like, you cannot be successful, really, if you are not highly reliable. You cannot have true success. You cannot have huge success. I have a secret to tell you. Not so many people are reliable. You know, a lot of people actually overpromise and they underdeliver. Whether it's in business, they are going to say, oh, those products, we are going to get them to your store by, in 2 weeks. That our product does this and this. In fact, online, you're going to see a lot of adverts. Even here on YouTube, you will see people say, oh, join my class. I'm going to teach you this, A, B, C. By the time you join, it's going to be something different. That's it. You know why? Because not so many people are reliable. That's just the honest truth. But we don't get to tell ourselves. Because a lot of people might think, oh, if I say they are not reliable, they can be offended. I think that's why we don't banter that word around. We would rather talk about talent, we talk about intelligence, we talk about smartness, but we don't talk about reliability. And this guy is so crucial. This guy is so important that we cannot do without it if we really want to be highly successful. In a world that is filled with so many people that are not reliable, it means that if you become reliable and you do it consistently, you are going to become highly indispensable. People will want to work with you. People will want to relate with you. People will want to have you as a friend. You are going to be the go-to person that people want to talk to, because they know that when they reach out to you, when you promise, you are definitely going to do whatever you say you are going to do. That's really a great skill for anybody that wants to be highly successful. Now, how do you become more reliable? I'm going to be talking about three steps you can follow to become reliable. But before that, let me talk about this groundbreaking research that was done and published by Elena and Kim in their book, The CEO Next Door. They actually interviewed over 2,600 leaders from a pool of 17,000 CEOs, and they spent an average of 13,000 hours. You know what they're looking for? They are looking for, what do people who get to the top, people who end up becoming great CEOs, what do they have that other people don't have? And do you know what the results said? They actually found 4 key skills, 4 key characteristics, 4 key qualities. And guess one of the guys? Reliability. They found that leaders who go on to do big things, who go up to take their corporations, their company, to do extraordinary things, they are highly reliable. Even though a lot of those leaders are smart, they know how to make good business decisions, but because they are not reliable, they don't actually make it to the list. They deal a lot of a lot of cropping, they did a lot of pruning to make sure that they got to the list of people who are extremely and highly successful, and they find that reliability is one of those key factors. Their followers, people who work with them, they when they interview them, they tell them that we follow them because when they say they are going to do ABC, that is exactly what they are going to do. You know why they continue to shine? Because not a lot of people are like this. Why are not so many people reliable? Honestly, I've been thinking about it. I actually don't know. Maybe because we don't talk about it so much, or because we don't see it as a big deal. It's something that we take with a pinch of salt. When someone say we have a dinner at 7, everybody make sure you get ready, and then someone doesn't show up at 7, we don't see it as a big deal. When they're like 10 minutes late, we'll be like, oh, it's just 10 minutes. When we have a business meeting and you'll be like, oh, traffic was heavy. We are supposed to show up somewhere. Let's say, even you have a date with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or even your husband or your wife, your partner, and they don't show up. You are supposed to get there like, let's say 8 p.m. And they'll be like, oh, my dress is so hard to wear. I have to quickly see a friend. These are little things that we take for granted, and that's reliability. And one thing about reliability is very closely associated with trust in our brain. You might not think about it consciously, but that's how the brain works. When somebody is reliable, you tend to trust them. So when they tell you something, you tend to believe them. And when you do this over time, it gives you a huge reputation, a huge level of respect. Because when they mention your name, when it's time to do business with you, whether it's, or even your family, when they mention your name, people will be like, oh, for sure, she's going to show up. For sure, it's going to be there. It's not going to miss the deadline. That's a very important factor for success. How do you become more reliable? First is say less and do more. Many people overpromise. People say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And the funny thing, within 24 hours, they've actually forgotten that they're going to do that thing, and that they promised that they're going to do that thing. And then whoever they promised is going to be waiting for them and say, oh, she said she's going to do this. He said he's going to do this. They're going to show up at the meeting. Next week, we are going to do this, we are going to do that. They never show up. They don't even remember that they promised you. So, you have to say less, rather do more. If you know you are going to do 10 things, tell people that you're going to do 5, and then do 10. So that way, you under-promise and you over-deliver, which is a flip of what most people do. That is, they over-promise and they under-deliver. So you can flip that, and you are going to see that you are going to become highly indispensable. The second thing you can do to become more reliable is to manage your time wisely. Sincerely, because I've been guilty too, sincerely, a lot of people don't want to become unreliable. No. But they are caught up with time management issue. Let's say they promise somebody they're going to show up in 2 hours. Rather than them to start dressing up, looking at the distance, do their calculation, they'll be like, oh, I still have time, I have time. And when it's about 30 minutes or so, they start rushing. And by the time they get there, they're like 30 minutes late. What does that do to them? It makes them not to be reliable. And what does that do to them? It's going to erode the trust the person has for them. See, let me be sincere with you. People might not tell you to your face that, you know what, I don't trust you. Because you say you are going to do this, you didn't do it. Because you say you are going to come at this time, you didn't come. They are never going to open their mouth and tell you. You know what goes up right there in their brain? Their brain is telling them that, hey, you got to be careful. Next time, if they tell you they're going to be here at 12, you might not really need to trust them, because they can show up late. So over time, when you do this, it begins to build up, and you get to a point where your personality, your personal brand, who you represent, because somebody who does not show up on time, somebody who misses deadline at all times, somebody who is not there when they're supposed to be there. That's the damage it does. So what do you need to do? You need to learn to manage your time wisely. Now, before I go to the third point, here to subscribe to this channel. This year we are building a community of superstars, people who are going to be highly successful, build great relationships and career. So flip that notification button on right now. Now that takes me to my third point. Now we know you say less and you do more. Pretty good. We know that you manage your time wisely. What's the last thing you need to do? Be accountable. Reliability does not make you a robot. Reliability does not make you a perfect person. Reliability does not mean you are going to deliver 100% of the time. No, because you are a human being and things happen. Even last minute things happen. So what do you need to do? When you promise to do something, when you promise to show up, when you promise to meet deadlines, and for whatever reason something comes up and you couldn't do it, what do you need to do? You need to own up to it. You need to be accountable. You need to tell the person or the persons, whether it's in business, whether they are your business partners, whether it's your family, whether it's your partner, own up to them and talk to them and say, hey, I'm sorry. I know I promised I'm going to do 15 of these, but as it is, I am going through A, B, C, and D. I really apologize for this. I take full responsibility, and I promise you next time it's going to be better. That's it. That makes so much sense. Rather than you going out of the radar, they cannot reach you. Some people are even going to switch off their phone. Now think about it this way. Imagine that you have this lovely product that you want to buy that you see online, or you have this lovely store, this beautiful store that you love to go to buy things. And when you get there and then you buy what you want to buy, or you want to buy a product and they tell you that, oh, it's not available right now, we're out of stock. Well, I promise you in 5 days, by Monday it's going to be ready. Just check back at 12 noon. And then you get there, you will say, let me give them some time. You go there at 2 p.m. and they say, oh yeah, we are sorry, that product is not available. We know you really want it. Please, do you mind checking back in 2 days? And then you go there again, they say, our supplier couldn't. What are you going to do to that product? It doesn't matter how beautiful it is. It doesn't matter how much you love it. Your brain is going to start doing what? Searching for alternatives. You're going to begin to look for other stores, asking friends, going on Google, looking for even alternate products if you cannot get that product. That's exactly how it works. If somebody don't deliver, if they are not reliable, you begin to lose your trust. And over time, you begin to find replacement for them. And sincerely, this is true in business. It's also true in relationship and even in family, even in your circle of friends. So it's not just about career, even in your personal life. This is just as true. So when you think that things are not going to work the way you've promised they are going to work, apologize, take ownership, take responsibility, hold yourself accountable, and make sure it does not repeat itself. If you follow these three steps, I promise you, you are going to become highly indispensable. And one thing that being reliable does is it has what I love to call a compounding effect. When people trust you, they are going to bring more opportunities to your doorstep. When things pop up and the people are asking questions, who do you think would be the best to do this thing? And then they remember, oh, it's Dr. Three Ways. Yeah, I think when it comes to things like this, he delivers on time. So the more reliable you become, the more trusted you are. The more trusted you are, the more opportunities you get. The more opportunities you get, the more your chances of success. And that's why it's something you need to take very seriously, because not so many people are reliable. You choose to be reliable, and then you are going to become highly indispensable, and you're going to challenge you to become the most reliable person in your circle, to become the most reliable person in your family. I challenge you to become the most reliable person in your relationship. Let your partner vouch for you. Let them say, if they tell me they are going to show up at this time, for sure, they are going to show up. And if they don't show up, they are definitely going to tell me why they did not show up. That's a good thing to be said about you. Okay, guys, if you are here to subscribe to this channel, like, comment. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.